تقريبا يا السادة.
ريال مدريد يقدم لوحة تليق به.
يا هلا والله متابعين قناة انفراد، حياكم الله جميعا. وهالمرة برنامج مختلف وبرنامج جديد، برنامج سوبر. طبعا من خلال هالبرنامج هذا ان شاء الله راح نستضيف مجموعة من نجوم عالم كرة القدم العالميين في هالقناة العالمية. واكيد شرف كبير بالنسبة لي ان نتعاون مع قناة انفراد، واللي طبعا ينعرض عليها بودكاست ركنة. حلقتنا الاولى لازم نبلش بنجم عالمي، واحد من أعظم المدافعين عبر التاريخ، ستام. نعم، مدافع منتخب هولندا، نادي مانشستر يونايتد، ميلان، لاتسيو، والعديد من المحطات اللي شفناها في مسيرة هذا اللاعب، واللي على صعيد الأندية حقق جميع البطولات المتاحة. أما على صعيد المنتخب الهولندي الله يعينهم، ولكن أيضا تطرقنا معاه في هذا الموضوع. وهالموسم داوم موسم ناري. فاموس من أفضل شركات الملابس صراحة، الأزياء الرياضية دائما يقدمونها بجودة عالية جدا، بأفكار مختلفة، بشغل مرتب، ودائما تشوفون فاموس على مستوى عالي جدا. فهذا الهودي منهم. وأيضا محمصة كولكتيڤ، صراحة قهوتهم نار وشرار. وإذا تبون ينصحكم نصيحة، جرب الفي 60 واختار البني اليمني. هذه نصيحة مني لكم وطلب، أنا شخصيا مجربة بصراحة على مستوى عالي، وما صحصح ومخمخ الا عن طريق فيكس 60. انا صراحه يعني مو وايد يعني بالقهوه مال القهوه كذي، ولكن بعد قمت افهم، صرت مختص. فكولكتيڤ حتى مكانه حلو، موجود في الديره، تقدر تروح واكيد راح تحصلني قاعد واتحلطم عن ليفربول. المهم ما بيطول عليكم بالحلقه هذه، خلونا نشوف شنو كانت المقابله. Welcome ya Stam. It's really great pleasure to have you here, one of the greatest defenders in football history.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here as well, to be with you guys.
And of course, when we talk about your career at Manchester United, you have won all the possible trophies and made a great appearances there.
Well, it's been very good, of course. You know, as a player going over there and then playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world is always very special. But also winning a lot of trophies, you know, winning the Premier League, the Champions League, as you know, and the FA Cup and the World Cup as well. That in Tokyo, which is always nice. As a player, you always go to a big club to win trophies, to do well, to measure yourself as a player with other great players in the world. And I had the possibility to do so in United, which made me, of course, very happy, and you know, made me a better player, but also a better person. I think, you know, also in social life outside or out of football, I've learned a lot.
And how was the pressure at Man United? Because of course we know that the fans always demand the trophies.
Yeah, and there was a lot of pressure when we played over there. Luckily for us, then there was no social media that you have now, you know, so that makes it you can say maybe a bit easier. But you know, playing for a big club like this, there's a lot of fans, of course, from all over the world are watching you. There's a lot of fans within the UK that expect a lot from you as a team and also as an individual. And the club, the owners and the board, you know, the members in the board and the coaches, but also, of course, the players ourselves. We expect a lot from ourselves, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as well. And you know, we wanted to show to everybody that we were good players and a good team, and that we could win trophies. And then, when you do that, especially, you know, in the first season for me as well, then people expect a lot more, and people want you to win every season. So the pressure is building up every time. And that makes it nice. It makes it, you know, good as well, because it means that you're doing well. But it's also, yeah, it's also hard sometimes, you know, because you need to keep on going every game, every training session. You need to produce quality.
And for Sir Alex Ferguson, of course, I think he's always an angry man. Yeah, he's great man management, but sometimes he gets angry at the team.
Yeah, you know, he's the type of man that can become very angry at times, but he means well. You know, he's a lot of times he's becoming angry because he knows the quality of the players, he knows the quality of the team, and if we don't show our quality enough that we have shown before, then he becomes angry as well, because he doesn't want us to just play around and take it easy. He wants us to step up to a high level, to show our ability, and then of course to win games and win trophies. And that's why a manager often becomes angry in games or during games or in halftime or at the end of the game as well, because he knows the quality of the players. And but he's a great manager. His man management was very good. I remember a situation when I played, and I think it was the first season or maybe the second season in the Champions League, that we played Bordeaux. And I've played a lot of games, and then before the game already in France when we were over there. So we traveled, we went to France, we arrived, had something to eat, and then he called me towards him and he told me, Jaap, I've seen that you have been playing a lot of games and it looks like you're a bit tired. So I give you next week off so you can go back to Holland with the family to have a rest. And then after the week, you come back and then you start again. And then, you're fresh for the second part of the season. And that's very good for a manager to do so, and it's also for him, very good that he sees in players what they need. And that's why he's one of the greatest. He was one of the greatest, of course, in man management as well as a manager.
Back to your time. I think the tackles were not restricted as today, yeah? So it's very difficult now for defenders to deal with it. I think they cannot really be that aggressive.
Yeah, now you have the VAR, of course. There's lots of cameras in the stadiums that watch the game, that control the game a little bit as well, with the referees on the sides as well in the office and looking at the screens and telling all the referees on the pitch in what to do. It takes a lot of character away, I think, from the game, because sometimes the game is still standing still for like 5 to 7 minutes, which is, I think, too long. Back in the day when we played, you can use your physicality at times. You need to put a tackle in. There was also the referee sometimes to give you a yellow or a red card when it's too much. But there was much more allowed when we played by the referees. The game was tougher. I think that was one of the qualities, of course, I think, as well in football at that time as well, that it was more pure if you looked at the game. And now every time when something happens, it's stop, have a look, stop, have a look. It takes a lot of quality away from the game. And
back to your days, I really enjoyed your rivalry against Arsenal, Man United and Arsenal. I'm a Liverpool fan myself.
Things happen.
We end the interview now. Stop the interview now. Yeah. When I played in my era, when we played Liverpool, there was already two clubs with a lot of very good players in there as well. Their players and our players, we wanted to show ourselves, against them and show them that we were the better players or we had the better team. So the press was building up a lot of tension between these two clubs towards that game as well. And when before we went on the pitch, when we were in the tunnel waiting next to each other, sometimes there was already like a fight as well, because when we looked at the other one and the other one was looking in a certain way, then it already went off in the tunnel. So sometimes there was like a really big scuffle already, before the game. But now now it looks like everybody's friends. Now it looks like when two teams go out and they're high-fiving each other and they're hugging each other. And back in the day when we played, there was a lot of, the rivalry was so big that everybody wanted to, not hurt each other, but wanted to show the other one that they were the better team or the better player. And after the game, it was okay, but before and during the game, it was really intense. And now it seems like it's different now. And we all know that times are changing. People are changing, clubs are changing, football is changing. We all know that. But, if you look at the old images from so many years back, then it looks like a total different game.
And when we talk about your rivalry, I think it went really soft nowadays, yeah? It's not like before. I mean, before, they were really honest players, honest managers. But for now, I think it's soft.
No, yeah. Before, the managers were like playing mind games as well, in the press conference. And then, speaking about other clubs and sometimes have a little dig at them, by a little dig, they say, okay, small, like comments towards the other team, which is not meant in a positive way, and that's how the managers those days, like Ferguson and Wenger, of course, from Arsenal, and the Liverpool coaches, of course, at that time as well, Benitez, for instance, they were like having a shot at the other one as well during the press conference and making comments about the other clubs and teams. And like you say, now everybody's very careful in what they're saying. Everybody is like always like treating the other one as very, very good club and very big club, like you're saying as well. And people are afraid to say something now because otherwise it's becoming a very big thing in social media and also in the press.
And who was the most difficult strikers that you have faced?
That's a difficult one. When I played, of course, in the Premier League, if you play like Thierry Henry, if you play against Dennis Bergkamp, of course, who played at Arsenal, if you play at Steven Gerrard, for instance, Liverpool, they're all very good players, and that's what I liked when I played in the Premier League, is that you play against so many very good players, strong players who have a lot of pace and physically strong, but quality also on the ball, that every game that I played, I needed to, focus myself to do very well. And that makes me and others as well a good player as well, because you need to always be on your toes to be ready to face these great players, to show yourself as well. But like Henry with his pace, Bergkamp as well, with his quality, of course, on the ball. I played against the Czech Republic, and there was Jan Koller. I don't know if you know him, a very big, tall striker. And he was very difficult to handle as well, because sometimes, he's very big, he's strong, long legs. So it's difficult to anticipate to him to win that ball. So, yeah, in my career, I played against Ronaldo, of course, the Brazilian Ronaldo. I played with him at PSV Eindhoven, and then I played against him when he played for Inter, Barcelona, when he played for the national team, of course, Brazil. And of course, he is one of the best players I think I've played against, because he's so unpredictable with the ball on his feet. The quality that he had was immense.
And I think Netherlands are really unlucky, with the way that we are seeing them playing, reaching the finals, but not lucky enough to win them.
Or we're just not good enough. That can be as well, because we have a lot of quality in the country. Although we're a small country, we have a lot of quality football players. In the time when I played as well, we always compete with the bigger countries to maybe win a trophy, but we never made it to the final or to win a big trophy. And that tells you something about the quality that we have to go all the way and to get very close, but still we didn't have the quality to finish it off and to make that difference to win that particular game, in the semi-finals, for instance, because we lost again with penalties a couple of times. So that also has to do probably with a little bit of quality also that was lacking. But it's a shame, of course, for me as a Dutch player, and when you play in a national team, it's a shame that you don't win a trophy with your country, because that's I think the ultimate goal, to win like a European Championship or to win a World Cup.
And for Netherlands, they have really great generation. Which generation, in your opinion, was the best?
I would say my generation. No, but I think when I played, we had a very good side with Bergkamp, with Seedorf, with Davids, other very good players, of course, as well, Kluivert. The generation earlier in the 70s with Johan Cruyff, Van Hanegem, Neeskens, that was a very good generation, of course, as well. And then, of course, after when I played in the national team, you had the generation with, and that's familiar with a lot of players, of younger players as well, is like with Sneijder, with Van Persie, with Robben, Van Bommel. That generation went into the final and lost, of course, against Spain in the World Cup in the final. That was a very good generation as well.
And for the last World Cup, Netherlands against Argentina, we have saw them losing on penalties. And Louis van Gaal said that it was scripted for Argentina to win the World Cup. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. Sometimes I think after a game, and you see how the game's going and how decisions are being made, then of course as a coach sometimes you express yourself in a certain way. I don't think he meant that, but Argentina is a team, is a country that always gives everything to win games. and they try to take everything out of the game in certain situations, you know, to influence the opposition, to influence the referee, you know, the coaching staff even of the other team. You know, with the quality that they're having, you know, they're using other qualities as well, you know, to get other teams, other players out of their, you know, comfort zone. So they're maybe making mistakes, and that's how they try to win games as well. Together, combined with their ability, combined with their quality, you know, and that's how they won this competition.
And now in Saudi Arabia, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of world-class players, and we have two examples. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo has made it there, still scoring goals, and on the other hand, Neymar, yeah, he has not made it there, and of course there was a lot of injuries.
Well, you know, there's a lot of quality players you see that go to Saudi Arabia to play now, which is, I think, is good. They make their choice to go over and play and to contribute to, of course, the country and also to the league in, you know, making the quality of the league higher as well. You know, show their ability over there. But you can also see, you know, you have the two players that you just mentioned, you know, in their careers going over there, and then Cristiano is successful, Neymar is not so successful. It's the same when they go from Brazil maybe to Spain, or when they go to Italy. You know, sometimes a player looks very good. Everybody's expecting a lot from him, you know, like Neymar as well going over there. And then when he's over there, sometimes you're seeing, okay, you know, he cannot produce the quality that we're expecting from him, and that's football as well. There's never, also you spend money to get players in. There's never a guarantee when you bring a player in that he is going to be very, very successful for the club.
If you were a player at the end of your career, would you play for Saudi Arabia? I mean, in the league?
Well, you know, in my careers, when there was never the option. There was never, you know, it wasn't possible. If I was a player now, I would always consider it. Every country, every club that is asking me as a coach or as a player, I would always consider the situation if I would do it. You know, because I like football. I like to work in different cultures as well. You know, so I think it's a thing that you always need to do.
I saw a video for you on TikTok like a few weeks ago. It was about Virgil van Dijk, that you have suggested he's the greatest player in history. So tell us about that video, and what do you think of him?
Yeah, well, they gave me a long list of players and of comparison, and I picked Virgil for every name, except when they placed him next to me. So then I picked myself, but that's how it is. But Virgil is now, in how he's playing, he's the example. He's the example of a modern center back, a central defender, in what you need. So he's got his presence, he's got his physique, he's got pace. You know, he's quick, even for a big guy like he is. He's got quality on the ball, so his passing is good, his technique is good to control. He has the ability to lead, so he can lead the team, he can lead the players in what you need as well. And he is calm, I think. You know, he's honest in what he's doing. And I think he's a great example for a lot of young kids now, young players, in how to be a professional player. He's also the player. The age that he has now, he's always preparing himself in a very positive way. So he keeps fit. You know, he has a normal, good, easy lifestyle, in terms of easy lifestyle of focusing on the job, focusing on his work, focusing on his career, not doing stupid things like some other players are doing. You know, and I think that's what you need to do in football.
Now we are seeing the Dutch football is invading the Premier League, especially at Liverpool. When we see Arne Slot has won the league. Also, we have seen Virgil van Dijk as well being there, Hakpo, Ryan Gravenberch, as well as Frimpong joining Liverpool. Yeah,
you know, it's when Dutch managers come into the Premier League, and well, maybe other leagues as well, they have the intention to bring Dutch players in as well. When Slot went to Liverpool, luckily for him, a very good thing for him was that Van Dijk was there, Gakpo was there, Gravenberch was there as well. so they could introduce slot as well to the other players. So that's a good thing for a manager coming in. And these players did very well. They produced straight away, and they showed a lot of quality, of course, for the team. And Slot as a manager coming in, he showed his ability as a manager. Was very good, calm, has a good idea about playing football. His philosophy is very good, which is positive. And now they bring Frimpong. He comes in as well, from Germany, coming over, and he's also a quality player with the abilities that you can use in the Premier League, because he's good on the ball, he's fast, he can defend, he can attack, and that's what they need in his style of play, which is a very good thing. But you always need to be careful that you don't bring in too many Dutch players. I think you need to be aware of that.
Yeah. And we also have another example, Ten Hag. Yeah, he was really succeeding at Ajax, but at Man United he did not make the great success.
No, and that's also when we just spoke about players going to a different league. That's the same with managers. A manager doing very well in Holland, Ten Hag doing very well with Ajax, being successful, then going to one of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester United. Yeah, and then finding it very difficult to play your own philosophy, your own style of play, and showing what you want to do with these players. And then as well, when you don't succeed, when you don't win that much games, then that everybody is going to make a decision, and people are talking about you, and then the club is going to be taking that decision that they want to get rid of you and bring somebody else in.
Yeah, for Sir Alex Ferguson, he said he has no regrets in football, which we already know that he has no regrets unless someone is forced to leave. Yeah, but I mean, he said he has one regret, is to let you leave Man United.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I spoke to him about that as well many years afterwards, and that's also his quality as a manager. Like I said, he's honest, and at the time when I left, he made that decision to let me go or to sell me. Afterwards, he seen that I still was one of the best defenders in the world and one of the best players, and he told me afterwards as well that he was regretting the moment that he sold me, because his decision was not the right one. And that's also very human, but that's also very good for a manager, especially a big manager like he was, to say that to the player.
There are moments in football that become forgotten by fans. I mean, for example, the final, everyone remember the Bayern Munich final, yeah, everyone. But sometimes people forget about the journey, or some games that were really great games, but people keep forgetting about them.
Yeah, or that's a difficult one, to be honest. Everybody thinks, and when they see me or other players from my generation, people start thinking and talking about the Champions League win when we won against Bayern Munich. But I think the game before against Juventus, the second game, the second leg in Turin, when we went 2-0 down and we won 3-2, that was a game that was even more special, because everybody expected us to lose, to not go to the final. We went 2-0 down in the beginning of the game, and we came back winning 3-2 in that particular game that brought us to the final. So I think that game was more memorable, for us as well, to get there. And for myself in my career, I'm hoping that everybody is never going to talk to me again about the game that I played with AC Milan to Liverpool for the Champions League final, because that's the one I don't want to be remembered of.
I'm going to ask about Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah, I mean, you saw his last season at Real Madrid, and you were already a player with him at Milan. So how does he deal with the stars? Yeah, I mean, it was really difficult to deal with Mbappe and Vinicius at the same time.
Yeah, for Ancelotti, it's he's a very experienced manager, and when he was there, of course, as well. And he likes to work with big players. When you're working for Real Madrid, and he knows that as well, then you're working for a club that brings in very good, very big players, because they want to win the league and they want to win the Champions League every season. And as a manager, you need to be able to handle that. You need to be able to, have your man management like Ferguson did, very good. And I think Ancelotti is a manager like that, because I worked with him at AC Milan, of course, as well. And then, sometimes you need to rotate as well in your games. Sometimes you need to take other players out and bring somebody else in, or use players in different positions. which these quality players can do as well. But it's not always easy because everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to be important as well, show their ability. And yeah, in style of play, you can say, yeah, they need to play attacking football every time. Sometimes you can drop deeper a little bit as well, and then use the pace and the quality of the other ones to come out very quick in the counter attack, of course, in transition.
Yeah, there is a defensive line at Milan. Yeah, everyone keeps saying it's the greatest defensive line. It was you, Maldini, Nesta, and Cafu.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say to me as well. And because when we talk about those years when I played over there and I played together with, like you're saying, with Cafu, Nesta, Maldini, and myself, then everybody keeps talking about that because I think you have 4 players who are very capable of playing in different positions. Sometimes I played as a right back as well. Then I played as a centre back. Maldini played as a left back. Sometimes he played in the centre. We were all very experienced and had a lot of ability, a lot of quality that made it most of the time very difficult for the opposition.
Yeah, really, thank you very much for this interview. I have really enjoyed every second and every moment. Thank you very much for your time with us.
Thank you. Glad to do it. All the best. Thank you.
كانت هذه مقابلتنا مع ياب ستام، وهذه هي نقطة الانطلاقة، وبإذن الله حتشوفون العديد والعديد من النجوم في قناة انفراد. لا تنسون اللايك، الشير، السبسكرايب والتعليق، واكيد رايكم يهمنا.